What do you most commonly fight with your significant other about? The toilet seat, money? Well, first off, here's the good news. Verbal fights are okay. Healthy relationships actually require them. According to our next guest, Judith Wright, author of The Heart of the Fight, a couple's guide to 15 common fights, what they really mean, and how they can bring you closer. Hi, Judith. Great to see you. It seems so counterintuitive, but it's good news for most of us who do fight.
It's really important. Fighting helps you get closer. I mean, if you avoid fighting, you're avoiding intimacy. Great relationships need great fights.
And so it's when you resolve the fights, that's how you become closer, correct?
Well, yeah, and it's even more than resolving. It's not just solving it, because sometimes you can give in and get rid of the tension, but you haven't really uncovered what it is. It's like, what does that fight mean to you? What do you really yearn for deep in your heart? What's going on? If you unlock that, then you get to things that actually help you become more intimate.
Right, you peel back the onion.
Right.
Now, what are the parameters, though, of healthy fighting? Because clearly it can veer off into unhealthy territory.
Yeah, everybody fights, but part of it, we call them rules of engagement. One is like really work on accentuating the positive in your relationship. If you've got a background of care and affection and well-being, then you can weather the fights easier and try to negate some of those real below the belt kinds of things. But another one, this one I love, is that nobody gets more than 50% of the blame.
That's good.
It's
That's
really
a good
important.
one.
You're a couple. You're in it together.
Well, that is one of the reasons that you pointed out that people fight, the blame game.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to say it was your fault that this went wrong.
Right.
So what should we do?
Well, partly just, we're going to blame sometimes a part of it, but only 50%. So it said, you made me do that, or you picked the restaurant, and it was crummy.
Right.
It's your fault. It's your fault. There's another rule of engagement that helps. Everyone is 100% responsible for their own satisfaction and their happiness. Yes. So I can blame my partner 50%, but I've got some role, and if I really want to be happy and satisfied, chances are there's something I could do or say or change about it, or analyze why it went wrong and what we could do differently in the future.
What about the toilet seat argument and other domestic fights, the chores, whose turn is it to unload the dishwasher and all of that?
Oh, those are really...
that's what we fight about a lot.
Well, in relationships, particularly about the first 10 years, the studies show there's a lot of power and control struggles that unconsciously play out in these kinds of things.
So these are power struggles?
They are. Not named, but they're oftentimes these power struggles. And we're not talking about why they bother us. Oh, you left the toilet seat up again. What about that? Oh, well, underneath that, we have deeper yearnings.
Yes,
really,
absolutely.
To be seen, to be understood, to be respected, to be cared about. And that toilet seat or doing the laundry or not doing the laundry or whatever it is feels as if we don't matter, that you're not cared about. That's why that becomes such a big deal.
And why is it so wrong to respond with the silent treatment?
Oh my gosh, the silent treatment is this passive, aggressive, unopened kind of punishing. You have your seething and resentful.
And that's not going to lead to any understanding.
No, and in fact, you end up trying to communicate, well, I'll show him or I'll show her, but you're not saying what the real message is. What about what they did or didn't do bothers you? What do you want instead?
So talking and arguing is always better than just zipping it out.
Always, and getting your anger out openly.
That's good to know. This is really good. You're making me feel a lot better, Judith. I am half Cuban after all. We do this a lot. Now, what about the "if you really loved me" card? People play that a lot.
That's really, if you really love me, you'd know what to buy me for my birthday, or you would tell your mother off, or you would do things the way I want. Part of the issue with that is we somehow equate love with like mind reading.
Yes.
If you really love me, you'd know exactly what it is I want, or you would have some obedience to my wishes without my saying that. If we, again, that 100% responsibility for our own satisfaction and happiness, it's ours to tell each other, what do we really need? What do we want? How do we want the other to behave? What matters to us? What does it mean to us? Rather than have some silent game that we're keeping some score, if you really love me.
Absolutely.
And how did that become equated with love? Love is messy. It's being alive and engaged. And
Judith Wright, thank you so much for making us all feel better about our messy relationships. And for the complete list, readers can go to your book to get more information and more great advice. Thank you so much for that.